we're finally going to do it. I know you and I talked about doing some conversations and some podcasts about some hard topics, right? But I think this one here is going to be, I think it could be personal for a lot, but I think it's something that needs to be talked about. You know, those things that we don't talk about can destroy us or, you know, cause a lot of rift or, you know, miscommunication. But it's something we're still trying to understand, and it's gender wars.
Yeah. It's inevitable. We got to talk about it. We got to touch on it. Every time I get on social media, you see it. It's we are literally both genders, the male gender and the female gender, seem to be at war right now. A lot of, you know, bickering, a lot of back and forth, a lot of men making posts about women, how women ain't this and women ain't that. A lot of women making statuses talking about men ain't shit, and it's just like, yeah, it's a lot of back and forth.
So I guess one thing that, like, I kind of question, right, because I consider myself to kind of be in somewhat of a traditional relationship. Do you think those traditional relationships are far and few anymore? Do you feel roles and relationships have just shifted because an alpha female and a beta male just 10 years ago, I'd never really heard anybody say that before.
Yeah.
They would call somebody gay if it was a man.
Yeah.
But, you know, my question is, like, are the roles really shifting? Should you go to work working 5 days a week, making $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 when your girl can, you know, basically get on, strip down to nothing, and men will support you and her to your wildest dreams?
I'm a big believer in, you know, you got to do what works for you. You know, so that, yeah, the traditional, if you're a traditional man and that works for you and your woman, and that works. If it's different where, you know, because now you got guys that are what you would call stay-at-home dads, and the woman's out there that's got the career and, you know, kind of making it work. She's the breadwinner. So, you know, and I know some men, they don't want no woman like that. They, like you said, they old school. They want to be, I'm the breadwinner. My woman is, you know, to look good, to be on my side, to enhance what I got going on.
Yeah.
But
I'm not that kind of traditional.
Yeah.
I've never. Do you think a lot of people consider that traditional, kind of the man taking the lead, the man making the decisions, and the woman just kind of being in the background? Do you believe that's like the original traditional?
That's the original traditional. That's
like
how
our parents. And
how it used to be. Grandparents and, you know, granny cooked and cleaned and, you know, went to church and granddaddy was in that factory. He was out working, busting his ass and taking care of the kids and all that. I feel like, but it's unrealistic to expect that from everybody at this day and age. It's so much has changed.
Especially in this day and age.
Yeah, so much has changed.
For one person to do it.
That's a lot. That's putting a lot of pressure and we let's address that right away. I am sick and tired of these females always talking about what they want, what they need a man to bring to the table. They want a man to take care of them. And they don't mean, that's the crazy, they don't mean just take care of like the household. They mean you got to get their nails done, get their hair done, all this extra shit.
Take care of or support.
What they want is they looking for a daddy, basically. But the problem is you looking for a daddy, but you don't want to be an obedient child. You know, you want to be you don't want to be submissive to that man. You want that man to play a role and take care of you and do things that you should be doing for yourself. But you want to be able to still talk reckless, talk back, be the independent woman. It's like, which one is it? You want to be this independent woman and you want to get accolades, you want to get praise from other women and say, oh girl, you do this and do that. But you really want a guy, to take, like, you ever see females post pictures in like Dubai or like out in these exotic countries and you know they're out there with somebody, but they never post who they're with. They just post the pictures of them on the beach, and it's usually the guy that's taking the picture is the guy that's usually, he's the one that's paying for the whole trip. So a lot of these females see that and they want that. They want that type of treatment. They want what they call princess treatment.
But like what? And I don't. Maybe it's just the old school, like tradition. Man, I have no interest in keeping up and supporting. Maintaining, constantly evolving a relationship. Like, that has to get old. But to me, if I hear that, I don't feel like a woman has much value if the only value you see in me is money. Like, I just don't. Especially, people are like, I can't believe you wouldn't take care of me. Hey, OnlyFans is open.
Right.
You have options, right?
Get out here and take care of yourself. That'll make me want to take care of you more if you could get out here and make something shake for yourself.
It's a partnership, right? The relationship shouldn't just be love between two people. It should be a bond, a partnership, a lifelong wanting to go further, like in life, right? Is wanting to do more. And again, like you said, with the traditional relationship that I have, it's not like I say, you can't work, you can't. I don't do that. Like, this is not me. She doesn't go, hey, I'm going to go to the store. Is that okay? She doesn't ask me if anything is okay.
Right.
Because we have a mutual respect. So it's traditional, but it's not like the old traditional.
Yeah.
But now, like with the way, like how the world is set up, right? Don't you feel like we're just kind of throwaway? Like relationships?
Everybody's disposable. Yeah, it's all disposable.
Because if you don't take care of me, I'll find somebody else, right?
That's it.
So it's like... and then,
until they find out that they can't find
or
somebody.
until they get too old.
Yeah, and then it's like, damn, that was and I think we got to get back to that. Man, love on who loves you. Genuinely loves you. That's there for you. All that other shit you can, and that's why I say it's not no one size fits all with these relationships. It's like, okay, this relationship might be a 50-50. This relationship might be a 80-20. That relationship might be a 90-10, 70-30. You got to do what works for y'all, what's tailor-made to your situation. Every situation is different. Everybody's got different kid situations. Some couples don't have any kids. So when you're looking at what other people are doing and you say, oh, I want that. Well, your situation may not put you in a position to have it the way that couple has it, So you just gotta, find who makes you happy and who genuinely cares for you and really has the best interest for you at hand, and you be the same, and go from there. Everything you want, you can get, you can achieve, and who cares what other people think? Oh, well, she don't have to work. So, and a lot of times it's competition. Oh, she don't have to work, so why do I have to work? Well, guess what? I don't have it like her man, So is that gonna, like you said, does that make me less of a man? And that's what some of these women do. They'll make you feel like, damn, what you're doing is not enough. And nobody should ever be felt unless you're really just not doing anything. But if you're doing your hardest and you work a job, a 9 to 5 or whatever it is to make ends meet, you should not be with somebody that makes you feel like you're not enough.
Yeah. Because it's it's a horrible feeling, right? Like to put in effort and somebody just look and go, hey, you just didn't try hard enough. You're like, what do you mean I didn't try hard? I literally tried as hard as I could. No, you didn't. No, I'm telling you that I tried my hardest. No, you didn't. But it's just the not being appreciated. And that's where I think a lot of the wars come from. The one thing I'm very thankful is I am not a homemaker. Can I cook? Yeah. Can I clean? Yeah. Can I do laundry and dish? I could do all those things. But let me tell you what, they're at the very, very, very bottom of my list of wanting to ever have to do them.
Yeah.
I will do them. Like, I kind of enjoy them as I've gotten older. But, it's almost like people go, well, men and women are not bred to do different positions. Women are natural, caretakers. Yeah, that's what women are.
I agree.
Men are providers, whether it's financial, whether it's hunting, food, shelter.
Protectors.
Protector.
Everybody feels like their options are limitless. So everybody's going to just be like, that's why nobody's really happy. You can't really be
just
happy.
Say no, it doesn't matter.
You can't. And I've seen even in your relationship, not to get too personal, but you and your spouse have been together for a long time. And it gets to a point where sure, y'all probably get on each other's nerves here and there, but y'all really appreciate each other because it's y'all, what I'm saying? It's not, you're not so quick to think like, oh man, she just got on my nerves, I'm about to find something better, and vice versa. She's not doing you like that.
Loyalty sticks, yeah.
Y'all definitely are old school and traditional in that sense. But now, man, it's everybody's just so quick to just be
no loyalty and everybody's in for themselves.
Yeah. Who can do better? Chris Brown, he said it before, these girls ain't loyal. What you gonna do? It's nothing. How's the song go? You can't do nothing. Your man can't do nothing for you. when a rich dude wants you. And that's just, it's sad, but a lot of times, you know, you see it even on these pranks on YouTube, these gold digger pranks, where you see these women that be like, oh, I got a boyfriend, I'm good. And then the guy pulls up in a Lambo or something, or a Ferrari, and then they like, oh, what you say your name was again? We could be friends, we could be cool, you know. And it just shows you, man, everybody just wants, they want that, what you call the, I guess, the star life or the princess treatment, you know. But my thing is, you should stay down with your man if you truly believe in him. Now again, now I'm gonna flip it and go to the other side of it, where now a lot of men want women to be submissive to them, but you have to give a woman something to be submissive to as well. You got a lot of men out here that ain't really men. You know, they're just, you know, grown boys. So a woman, because if a woman's gonna allow you to lead, she don't want you to lead her to nothing. You know, she wants you to lead her to the promised land, at least try, you know. So a lot of times I understand from a woman's perspective, they like, man, I'm not submitting to this guy because he, you know, you don't even really respect yourself. Yeah. Why would a woman respect you? You don't respect yourself. You carry yourself in a certain way, and a woman is they're not gonna submit to you, you know.
Just imagine, I'll tell you this quick video that I saw. A couple's getting married and they start doing their vows. You know, and the vows are always, you know, what is it? You know,
sickness and health and all that. Yeah.
The chick, when it come, I can't remember what part it was. Basically, for richer, for poorer.
Yeah, I think you sent me that. I think you sent it to me.
I said, dude, run.
Yeah, because she was like, not poor or something. She said,
she started arguing with the preacher. And she, you know, hey, we talked about this, and I'm like, dude, if you don't run, and down the road you're unhappy, it is your fault. Yeah. She told you that poor was not on her list. No.
Not an option.
No. But again, it's like the relationship is just not love. You know, and life's hard. So like when you go in and you do some of this stuff, you're making conscious decisions. At least I think people are more now. I think it's conscious, but I also think it's kind of take love out of it, because you start logically thinking, going, well, I really love emotionally connected with this person, but this person has an OnlyFans. She makes good money. She has not just OnlyFans, but any job. Yeah. She has this and this and this, but we don't really have anything in common.
I get what you're saying. A lot, and that's, I feel like that's a lot of marriages.
Sacrifice.
It's just, like you said, it's more of a partnership only, where it ain't, I don't even gotta love you. Like
a relationship.
You're gonna make my life better. You know, I'm gonna invest in you, you know, like a lot of this stuff is, because by the time.
It's a hollow love, bro.
It's it. Man. By the time people get to the point where they want to get married, a lot of these people have already been, you already done gave your heart to the last man. He broke your heart. So now you're not looking for love. You know, I'm not looking for love. She broke my heart. I'm just looking for what's going to make the most sense. You make a certain amount of money. I make a certain amount of money. Oh, we come together. We can, this is, you know, it's basically business. It ain't that love. It ain't like how it was.
Business relationship.
Yeah. It ain't like granny and granddaddy. And this is all business for the most part. Then you got the other side of it, where you got transgenders, man. Like me and you was talking about this, where you got I think you told me, I forget what sport it was, but you had a transgender, a man that transgendered into a woman. I guess I'm saying that right. Became the like woman athlete of the year or in some sport or something.
Well, we do know woman of the year, right? And that's not just with Caitlyn Jenner, right? So woman of the year, a man. I'm sorry. Like, I want to giggle because crazy, it doesn't even sound right saying that.
It don't. That's why I just laughed.
That's like going, well, who's man of the year? And I don't know, you say a female's name. And I go, wait, wrong gender, wrong category. And I don't know why, but to me, maybe it's just me, maybe because women are natural caretakers, right? But man, I think with women working so hard for equal rights and, you know, equality, just to allow a man to identify and transition to become a woman and get everything you all worked so hard for, and then to celebrate them.
And what they are naturally. You know what I'm saying? Like
biology is a real thing.
Yeah, we're going to celebrate a transgendered woman and say she is the woman of the year.
She is the best woman that exists right now.
Come on, man. Excuse my language. I try not to cuss, but man, fuck out of here, man. That's how I feel about that. You know, I mean, again, we got to do something like that. We have nothing against, you know, if you gay, straight, transgender.
It's none of our business. We don't go.
That's cool, but there's got to be some type of rules in place. Mm-hmm. You got to, you know, like I want to say it was swimming. That's what it was. It was a swimming competition, and was it the Olympics or something?
Whatever.
Yeah,
kind of the first one to spark the entire sports. And
you gotta. I mean, because you know, we all know, like you said, physics, biologically, a man is just the average man is more athletic than the average woman.
They're built
physically
different. Yeah, physically built different.
So you have this advantage just because you woke up one day and you chose, you know what, I want to be a woman. You transgendered into a woman or whatever, or transitioned, into a woman. And now you're competing against women. You have an advantage because you were born male. I don't see, you know, of course we probably get some flack for our opinions, but it is what it is. I just don't see how a person with logical, it won't be the first time, how a person with logical thinking can think that's right. That's just not right.
No, and I'll tell you too, right? Because I guess it'd be different if like they started competing in the sports and they were like equally as good or as bad. But, you know, the UFC fighter transitioning into a woman, man, it was heartbreaking, but you could definitely tell this man had probably never won a fight with another man and just wanted to kick the shit out of somebody. Yeah. And it was a female. And I remember going, nobody here is concerned that a man who is now transitioned into a woman who is physically bigger, stronger, faster, and more aggressive into a cage, into a professional fight.
Got paid,
that is regulated. And you watch a man, I don't care what he identifies, I'm saying he's a biological man, beat the snot out of a woman. It's
crazy, man. That's crazy.
But, you know, you walk out here and some woman tries to run you over with your car and you smack her, guess where you're going?
Going to jail. Yep. But I definitely do not co-sign, you know, just because you transition into a woman, you be able to play in the women's league, or if you transition to a man, you play in the man's league. You got that, like, so where I was getting at is also, you know, when they get locked up. So a woman or a man that transitioned to a woman gets locked up, goes to prison for a crime. What prison do you think they should be in? Should they be in? Because they say it's super dangerous to put them in a prison with men, you know, because they feel like they might get raped.
Either way. Yeah. Because you're having somebody of the opposite sex go in, house, and be stuck with the opposite sex. Mm-hmm. Whether they've had, you know, hormones or whatever, you're sticking two sexes in together where segregation of sexes is key. That's why they don't have men and women, and, you know, people, we'd have babies everywhere. You think the pandemic was bad.
They said they said it actually happened. Like a man, I'm getting tongue tied. But a man that transitioned to a woman went to prison. They put him in a female prison because that's what he identified as a female. And they said he ended up raping a few females, like naturally born females, in the prison. But then they say some transgendered women, they have put them in male prisons because that's what they were born as, and then they got raped because they look like, you know, a woman. Yeah. So you got guys in there that's already, you know.
It's not a good place for people who could be exploited, right? And I think, you know, with prison too, because if you see a man who transitions into a woman, probably reminds a lot of just the woman putting on a wig.
Yeah.
You know, not in all cases, but I mean, you know, you got a wig, high heels, and a dress, and he has a beard. Look, you know, spade's a spade, right? You know, like, and again, like, and I want to make it really clear, like, on this episode, what somebody else does sexually orientated, a relationship, man, I don't care. I don't care as long as you're happy. Free will is a real thing, and free will allows you to do whatever you want. And who am I to tell you that you can't do it? As long as you're not hurting anybody, right? As long as you're not causing. The only time that I got upset when I heard they were having a parade. You may have heard this. They had this kind of, it was a transgender group, right? And I can't remember if they were wearing like some very revealing outfits, but they said this, and please don't, like, if I have to, I might go, dude. But they said this, and I immediately went, I like to see you try. And I've never said that before. Like, I've just been like, guys are just goofy. They said, we're here, we're queer, and we're coming for your kids.
Oh, yeah. They tripping.
Yeah. There's the line in the sand, and your foot is too far on the side. Because at what point, I don't go to your kids. Right? Who you want to raise as gay, and you want to show them gay, going, straight's the way. I just don't believe I don't believe it's my job, or it's, of my interest to figure out your sexuality. That's up to you. And once you choose it, it's none of my business. But people are so infatuated with caring, right? Something we said earlier. It's about being the yes ma'am or the yes man, just kind of agreeing, kind of be docile, kind of just going with it, right? Creating a soft society that just goes, oh, well, there's a new gender. It's called this. And we all just say, okay.
Man, it's two genders, man. Male and female. That's it.
Biologically, it says it right there.
That's it. You can identify as what you want to identify. Like you said, that doesn't concern me.
I try to identify as a rich man, and you know what? My bank account didn't change.
Like, boy, you broke.
Jeez, right. You know what I did? I identified as a broke man.
But I'll say this, man. I'll say, as far as like the male and female, the gender war that we got going on right now. Let's circle it back to that. I feel like this is the solution for me. I feel like you need to be what you require. And that's that. Stop wanting a man that makes 6 figures or 8 figures and you basically a pretty bum. You look good, but
you said that the other day. I said I've never heard anybody be called a pretty bum.
Pretty bum.
You're a bum, pretty one.
Yeah, you dressed up, and that's what a lot of these females is doing. They trying to basically catch a fish. They trying to find the right man to take the bait. They don't have nothing, and it's some males that do it too. I knew a guy, this one dude. He's a lame, super lame. I ain't even gonna put his name out there, but this dude that I was like cool with way back in the day, and he was weird like that. This dude was like just a broke ass dude looking for a woman to leech after, like looking for a woman like to take care of him, And I'm just like, damn, bro, like really? Like he didn't really never keep a job, never have no hustle about himself, but he was just like prey on women with low self-esteem and try to get them to take care of them. And to me, there's no respect in that either as a man. Like it's actually worse if you're a man doing that. Cause like we said, a man is naturally a provider, a protector. So when you want a woman, you cool with a woman just provide for you. Like I said, if that works in your situation, if that's what it is, then that's what it is. But when you you're outwardly looking for that, that's just bum behavior.
Yeah. Well, and I guess I can admit, I mean, I've never like hid it from anybody, but I had relationships with women, and I did not work because I just didn't want to work. I just didn't work because I didn't have to. And and I hate to say that because like growing up now, I have a daughter. Like good Lord, if somebody did that to my daughter, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I've actually spoke to a few girls that I dated, and I've actually apologized, and I'm like, I'm so sorry.
I've been enabled too in relationships. When you're young, it's sometimes
you don't know any better.
You don't know no better. But once you realize and you know better, it's just like, come on. And these females, some of these females, they definitely don't know no better. They just looking for a come up. Because let's be honest, don't nobody like to punch the clock and want to work till they 65 or 67, whatever the retirement age is now. That's not in anybody's plan. When you are a kid or a teenager, you're not thinking like, man, I'm just going to work a regular job, work at some factory somewhere or something, and have to work times. Like everybody would like to be taken care of, male and female. Like if somebody, that's like hitting the jackpot. Like, oh man, I don't have to,
we hit it, baby.
Yeah, but I feel like the way a lot of people are going about it is definitely just it's wrong, and that's what's causing a gender war, because really you're upset about your shortcomings in life. So you pointing the finger and mad at whoever you dating that you're not taking care of me enough. You're not doing this. You're not doing that. Yeah. And really you're mad at where you are in life. So you're blaming. So you're in return, you're putting pressure on your partner and feeling like you need to do more. You need to make more. You need to and
then wonder all of a sudden why you're picking up so much slack from the relationship.
Yeah,
because you're destroying your partner.
Yeah,
you're not helping. And again, we don't really care what side of the coin you're on. Really, really don't. At what point, just be kind to each other. You don't have to understand to accept the fact that other people are making choices that don't align with yours. That's fine because it's free will and it's none of your business.
Man, look, God created Adam, created Eve. 2 genders, male and female. We need each other. We need to love each other, and we need to appreciate each other. And if you're gay, you are lesbian, you like the same sex, that's cool too. But this whole gender war, male versus female, and you should supposed to be this role and I'm supposed to be that role. Look, it's 2025. A lot has changed. What can I say? But one thing that remains, again, 2 genders, male, female. Find your role, play your role with your partner, and do the best you can. Try to be happy. That's all you can do.
Man, and live a happy life and leave other people alone. People will leave you alone. It's none of my business. It's none of your business. Free will's a real thing. Just to live your life, man. At what point we're all just a bunch of people trying to make it till our time is up.
Facts.
People always wanna know something about me.